Welcome back. This is halftime of Bryan ISD football, and we are visiting with Josh Woodall. Josh is the head trainer at Bryan High School. And Josh, last week we got to speak with your wife, Jamie Woodall, and that's what I want to ask you about first. What is the dynamic of you and Jamie both being in the same profession, you being at Bryan, she being at Rudder? When you get home, do you talk shop? Do you not talk shop? Is it a blend of both? What is it?
You know, well, you know, honestly, I think the reason we've had such a good marriage is because we don't ever see each other. You know, but no, seriously, you know, we don't talk a whole lot about work when we get at home. You know, we kind of leave work at work and try to enjoy each other at the house. Not to say that, you know, if something interesting happens, we don't, you know, visit about it. You know, some of the best learning experiences are learning from your peers and colleagues, and we're fortunate enough to spend extra time together. So sometimes we can learn from experiences that one or another has had, and talk about a interesting injury or something that you don't see on a regular basis. But you know, commonly it's just we don't discuss work a whole lot outside of work. We try to do something different.
Talk a little bit about sort of the business of athletic training and how it's changed over the years. Like any business, like any industry, technology has obviously changed it. Talk about how it's changed since you got into it.
Yeah, you know, technology's had a huge impact. When I first started in athletic training, and see, I've been in Bryan for, I guess, 13 years now, and when I first started, all of our injury records and everything were kept on paper, and we had files on student athletes that were, you know, 2 inches thick by the time they graduated. And today, all of our injury records, all of our record keeping is done electronically on the computer. At least for the most part. There's still some paper forms, but not near what it used to be. But you know, probably one of the most notable things is concussion management, and a lot of that is done electronically now. We're very fortunate to be on the cutting edge of that, and we use a program called C3 Logics for our concussion assessment and return to play protocol. And you know, that utilizes an iPad, and students that are diagnosed with a concussion go through an entire return to play process where their cognitive function, balance, and other things are tested using the iPad, and it helps us to make a really informed decision to get those players back as soon but as safely as possible. And you know, it's really a true testament to the advancement in the way things work with technology.
Is that something that can give you feedback right there on the sideline, or is it something that you hear about the next day? What is it?
Generally, it's more the next day and in the coming days and week after the injury. But there is a component of it that we use on the sideline. For example, part of it focuses on word memory, concentration, the ability to focus on certain things, questions that we may ask, and we can record that on the iPad, and then we can go back and we can look at it and compare it to a baseline that we've got on most of these kids, you know, at a normal state, so that we can say, you know, yeah, it looks like their cognitive function is somewhat affected at this point. They're not doing as well on these particular tests. But for the most part, it's something that we utilize in the days and weeks to come after the injury, where we compare their post-injury assessments to pre-injury assessments, and be able to look at that and determine if they're still adversely affected, or if they're recovering along the track that we expect them to.
I asked Jamie about this last week, and I want you to talk to it also. You're a student aides that you've had throughout the years. I know they're invaluable to you in what you do, and I know you're especially proud of those who go on to make either physical training or something in the field part of their careers.
Certainly, and actually, I'm very excited right now. I have a student who graduated from our program probably about 6 or 8 years ago now, but she just graduated from the University of Arkansas with a degree in a master's degree in athletic training, and is back here in Texas working in a high school setting up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so, you know, it is very rewarding when these students go through a program such as ours, and they decide that's what they want to make their career, and then they go on and get that education, and then it's especially exciting when they come back and pick right up where they left off, or follow in the footsteps and get into a secondary school setting. It's a lot of fun. But you know, not all of our students go on to do this in college, but or even after college professionally. But you know, we do have a good number of kids that go off into another related field. We've had some in the past that have gone into physical therapy or have gone on and been nurse practitioners and things like that. And so, it's very rewarding when those kids make a career choice like that, and it begins at some level in a program like ours. It's really exciting.
Josh Woodall is the athletic trainer at Bryan High School, and we thank him and his wife Jamie Woodall for what they do for the Bryan ISD. I'm Tom Turbeville. This is Get to Know Your District right here on Channel 16.